Hey YouTube, how you guys doing tonight? Kevin here, coming back at you with another video. Okay, so this is my KE100, the one my white one in the picture, the nice one. Don't mind the tank. This is my dummy tank. If you remember from my exhaust modifications, this is my practice tank for the brazing. I practice brazing, but I had a lot of questions on tanks this week. You guys have got some great questions, and I love the questions, so I'm going to keep answering your questions. What do I use to take the rust out of a tank? Well, what I do first, before I do anything, I remove my petcock. Get that right off the bottom of the tank, which is actually on the other side of this bike, but I take that right off because what I'm going to show you will eat that. Okay? After I get all the fuel out, hear that? I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that right there is a symbol, not a symbol, a hint of what I use for cleaning tanks. Anyway, what I do with the tank is I drain it out completely of fuel and water, rinse it out, all that type of stuff. I take the petcock off first. Always remove your petcock, because no matter what you put in this tank to clean it, it's going to eat it. Here you guys go, copperheads right here. Boom. These are pellets. You can see they've already been used. You can keep these because you can use them on multiple different tanks, multiple things. These are for a pellet gun. You can buy these right at Walmart in the section. They come, these are the flat tip ones, but you can get the point head. It doesn't really matter. You dump all these inside the tank, shake the tank back and forth, and then what it does is it basically roughs up all the thick rust and gets it out of there. Okay, so then they have two types of chemicals you can use. They have amylic acid, which is used in pools and for cleaning concrete. This stuff is extremely dangerous. You have to wear eye protection and rubber gloves because it will literally burn your skin right off your hand. It's an acid and it will eat. It will eat a petcock in 3 minutes. I mean, completely to a pile of nothing. Okay? This stuff is incredibly insane. And it's also an inhalant hazard, so you can't use it inside. You can't breathe it in. You don't want to put your face up to the tank and look inside of it. And literally, you'll see your tank start to steam. That takes the rust out of a tank in about 45 to an hour. Okay, 45 minutes to an hour. You'll have the tank looking like brand new steel. The nice thing about it, it's reusable, and you can put it back in the gallon jugs. However, you don't want to get that stuff on you or on anything. It'll kill grass. I mean, the stuff is wicked. But if you want to take a more subtle approach, which is what I like to do, I use this. You can get this at your supermarket, and you're going to need 2 gallons of it. Vinegar. Yep. This has 5% acidity, and this stuff right here works pretty well. It does take a longer period of time, though. You're looking at a day, maybe 2, and you're going to want to do it in about, I would say between 65 and 75 degrees. You know, you can go higher than that on the degrees, but you don't want to do it lower than that. You want a warmer tank, so a warmer atmosphere, if you will. But that's what I use to clean tanks, and I just wanted to show you that. So there's a couple of things. And then at the very end, you're going to flush out the tank, regardless if you use vinegar or the amylic acid. The amylic acid you can buy at a hardware store, normally in the pool section or the concrete section. It'd be in that area. They use it for cleaning all kinds of things, but like I said, rubber gloves, eye protection, you're going to need them for that. That stuff is wicked. But it will clean a tank in 45 minutes. I swear to God, you'll love it. But it's dangerous. And you got to make sure you flush out the tank afterwards and make sure you get it all out of there. It will kill a carburetor. So anyway, yep, that's where I'm at with that. So anyway, back on this bike, this tank's got to come off. I'm not doing that part tonight, but there's no petcock on this tank. This is my tank that I mock up for doing exhaust for clearances. I use this tank for practice. This has a bunch of holes in the bottom of it that I put in it. I use this tank right here for brazing, for practicing. Because I like to have my brazing nice and smooth and looking pretty good. I don't know if you can see any of it, but let me see if I can get you off there for a second. If you can See that brazing right there? Those are that's brazing. It's nice and smooth. It's like weld or solder, if you will. But basically, I went around and did the seam on the tank, and it's one of the best ways to fix a tank. If you have a tank that's got holes in it, brazing. I'm gonna be running into that, I'm sure, this summer. So I'll be doing some videos on that. So right now, basically what I'm doing tonight is I'm removing my exhaust, and I'm gonna put my what do you call it? I might have been using my good tools tonight. I'm just using my generic stuff. I'm just taking some stuff off the bike that don't belong there, like this exhaust, this expansion chamber, because we're gonna put this on the other bike and get that all mocked up and get that finished so we can have that KE what do you call it there? Custom exhaust, the expansion chamber. Now, whenever you put a performance exhaust on a bike, whenever you do that, you have to jet the carburetor. That was another question I came onto this weekend, and I said it before when I did the video on this right here when I was doing it. You have to jet. You can't just put it on there and thinking your jet is going to be okay. And the reason for that, because you're pushing, the air is able to escape out of the engine faster. That means it's going to suck it in faster. When it sucks it in faster, it can create a lean condition, and that lean condition can actually cause your bike to burn up. And you don't want that, trust me. That's not fun. I deal with a lot of burnt up two-strokes. Two-strokes burn up quickly if they're not done right. And that's not a good place to be. This bike is dirty. I can't wait to take the pressure washer to it. Almost time, guys. Almost time to get this thing out there and pressure wash it and get her ready for the, what do you call it there, the riding season, which is why I have it in the house tonight. I'm going to put my mag back on and all that type of happy stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So let's see here. Let's expand you up a little bit. You see how dirty the bike is. It's just, I used it last year, and we started doing the mock-up for the exhaust expansion chamber. So, gonna put my CDI back into it and get it all back to pretty. Yep. I always remove anything that I think might be in the way on my bike when I'm doing a modification, because I don't want to destroy anything. As good practice. Here we go. So, with that said, here we go. My screwdriver. Boom, boom, boom. Put the screws in, seat everything in. Da, 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 da. I'm not putting the side cover on tonight. I'll do that tomorrow. We'll make this into a two-part video. I want to talk to you guys about the shifter anyway, about how to set up the shifter. Use my okay, get that good old wackadoo. This one a good old wackadoo too. Good. Those are just the two screws that hold the mag in. Make sure they're nice and tight. And feed my wiring up and through. Just back up through this little handy dandy little connector. This bike used to be a points bike. If you watched my videos on the converting. Also want to talk to you guys. You guys might see one or two carburetor videos on my page. There's actually quite a few of them. I think I even have some in my playlist. You guys can watch this because I do a lot of carburetor tips and tricks. I get a lot of people asking me what the spec is on the carburetors. I got videos on all kinds of things on these bikes for my new viewers. I'm up to 375 subscribers, and thank you guys very much. YouTube has been really hard on us creators because of the now I have to have 1,000 subscribers, which is, you know, for a new channel, it's kind of hard to hit. You know, a lot of people don't know about these, that we even have these videos up here. So makes it a little difficult for creators like myself, as I expressed in one of my other videos. So if you guys could please share my page and help promote it, that would be great, because I do have a lot of information, and I know a lot of you guys use the information. So if you guys could pass on that word for me, that would be wonderful. And I know many of you do. I just want to, say thank you for that. And if you guys could, have your friends check out the page and see if there's anything I can do for them, So I've been running into these problems with YouTube with all that stuff. Don't forget your key. Whenever you put your flywheel on, you always want to make sure this key is not cracked or split. This is the key that goes in the crankshaft here. Make sure that's always in good shape. When you put that in, this takes the 4 mag because it's the CDI. Okay, that's good. Using my piston stop right here. This screws into the spark plug hole and stops the piston from rotating. Yeah, I can't wait to get on that KE100 build. Man, that thing is going to be great. Got some good stuff going on with that. Oh, I turn this way. Don't think that's going to hit. Nope. I'm going to have to use a different stop. Different piston stop. Not for that one. That worked in my other head. Not this one. I put the lock washer on first. If you can. Boop. The nut. Okay. And I don't have that piston stop in the house, so I'm going to have to end that there, I think. Let me go double check real quick. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in here. One more thing I can try. Yeah, I don't have the rope in here either. I'll have to get that out. Let's see. So, anyway, it looks like I'll have to retorque that tomorrow night. But at least we get that part in, and then I can do the exhaust. So I'll work on the exhaust tomorrow night when we put the side cover on. I'll torque that. I'll just leave the whatchamacallit there, the socket right into it. Okay, I've got no exhaust gasket. Okay. I also want to talk to you guys about exhaust gaskets. Okay, an exhaust gasket leak can actually cause a lean condition because it's more air that expels. You want all your exhaust to go through your exhaust. Whenever you have an exhaust leak, you actually lose power. It's a true fact. So, let me get the other thing. And I showed you guys this before on another video. If that flywheel nut is not torqued properly, is loose, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this flywheel key right here is sheared off. It actually broke it. So this part right here, when it was in the crank, was actually even with the crank, and the flywheel spun over it. It actually caused it to jump timing, and they couldn't start the bike. Bike didn't run right. So I didn't know what the problem was when I looked, when I initially looked at the bike, and I ended up getting the bike for a few $100, which was nice. But now I had the problem because I didn't know what the problem was with the bike until I started going through the ignition on it and find out, okay, you know what? It's not timing properly. That's not a common thing. That's a once in a blue moon type thing. So worked out pretty well for me, but yeah, I'd rather had not had it gone that way. Okay, so this is actually for a KM, but this is an exhaust gasket that has been crushed flat, okay? But I want to show you what they originally look like. This is why you always have to replace them. See how it's a round tube? It's actually a copper tube, a one-piece copper tube, and it's folded. And when you tighten down your exhaust, it crushes it down like that and seals it properly. This is for a KM and a KD, but this looked exactly like this, just smaller. So always make sure you have a new exhaust O-ring. They're cheap to get, and they're worth every penny of it. Okay, make sure the wiring's down in there. Good, good. It's all good there. All right. So, the other thing you can do is if you have one of these and you're putting your exhaust on, this thing likes to fall out, likes to, automatically fall out. You can use some grease or some assembly lube and put it right in there. Alright, I get everything put away outside there, so you know what? I'm just going to do it by hand. Okay. Just do it by hand, that's all. Wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last. See if I can get that in there a little better. That should fit in there pretty tight. Okay. When you put your exhaust on, I'll give you guys a little tip. Start the bolts, but don't tighten them. Okay? Start them all in there. Every one of them, all four of them. You got the two major mounting bolts. Don't tighten them. Just put them in finger tight. Okay? This gives you the opportunity to maneuver your exhaust if you have to. Make sure it's finger tight. For some reason that one got a little too tight. With finger tight. The mounting screws, see if I can shrink you guys down here for a second. The mounting screws are on slides, so you don't want to tighten these ones up first. Because if you tighten them up first, you can actually hurt your exhaust. But when you deal with a new gasket that's being stubborn like this one, so sometimes whack it up a little bit there. Okay. That could be a pain in the neck. That's why I always say start all your bolts first. Sometimes if you get a new gasket that doesn't want to cooperate, you might have to tap it in a little bit. I'm not going to tighten this, I'm just going to snug it. Not snug it, but just get in a few turns. So as long as you can spin the washers, you're good to go. Okay, so I got all those in. Now, I tighten up the exhaust. Always, I'll show you this. Start all your bolts first. Your back one, your bottom one, and your two flange bolts. Okay? The proper way of doing this is to tighten your flange bolts first. tighten both flange bolts first, then that one, then the back one. Okay? That's the proper order that they need to be tightened in. Why, you're asking? Because these two are on a slide that allow your exhaust to move back and forth. If you're too far forward this way and you tighten up the flange, it's not going to tighten down properly and you're going to leak. Or you could break a stud. When tightening down these exhaust flange bolts, make sure you tighten them down evenly. And remember, you're crushing an exhaust gasket, so there is a torque spec on it. I don't use the torque spec on these ones right here. I just go tight. I mean, I don't monkey tighten them. I just go snug and then an 1/8 turn. And miraculously, it comes out perfect. Just like that. Yep. Okay. Alright. Now that my flange bolts are evenly tightened, then I will go ahead, tighten down the other bolts. Okay. Those two are on there. Then the other thing I want to check, and I check this every season. When I open up my bike, every season I check this. Okay? And it's very important that you do. It's not me. It's not like it's... I didn't have a problem with it. I'll show you. I retorqued my cylinder head. Okay, I've already had this head off this year because this is the regular KE head. The high compression head's on my 102 build. So this bike is going to be back to its original run. So these bolts get torqued down to 16 foot-pounds. The head bolts. So I grab my ratchet, my torque wrench, and I go to 16 foot-pounds. Yep, 16. Show you guys this. Come on. Gotta readjust you guys here for a second. Okay. I got stuff everywhere, don't mind me. Okay. Just moving stuff out of the way here. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can push you in. 15 and go one notch above it. 16 good there. 16 good there. Good there. Okay. Now that that part's all done, and I went in a crisscross pattern. Okay, like an X. 1, 2, then 3, and then 4, and that's how you do those. All right. Well, that's pretty much what I got for tonight. Tomorrow night we'll finish off the side cover, and I'll show you how to set the shifter. So no debris gets in my engine. I'm going to put the sparky plug back in. We got to pull the tank off. We got to put the other fuel tank back on. Looks back to a KE100. And it's got the ignition, kind of bummed about that. I wanted to get that done tonight. But whatever. It is what it is. So, back on the KE100 tomorrow night. We'll finish off the, what do you call it, the magneto, get that all done. At least the ignition's all put back together. The exhaust is back on. And got that all cleaned up, tightened up. Yep, good there. So, got the new exhaust gasket in. We got the expansion chamber off. And then we're going to mount that all on there. You guys, this is the one I had the Torque Monster video on. I got the big 50 tooth in the back sprocket there. This thing is awesome. I also had another question on my KE102 build. I get a lot of questions of asking me, how fast do you think it's going to go? I had one guy ask me if you think it's going to hit 70. That bike I'm not building for speed. I know I'm doing a lot of high performance stuff to it. But what I'm actually going after is these two-strokes have a lot of potential for torque, which is twisting power. And I'm running on this bike right here, this 100, a 15 sprocket in the front, 15 tooth, and a 50 in the back. When I do the KE, the KE102, it's going to have a 16 in the front and a 50 in the back. And the reason why I'm not going for speed. The top speed on the bike is going to be like 50, 55 at the most. I'm going for torque. And what I mean by that is, like when you get on a dirt bike, a motocross bike, you know, wing, get the front wheel right up off the ground. That's what I'm going for on the bike. I want this bike to get out of a hole. I want this bike to climb a hill. I ride up in the White Mountains, and I'm looking for a bike that can go. These bikes will never be allowed on the highway. So 60, 65 is not needed. You're not going to do 60, 65 on this bike. It's just not. The regular speed limits around here are like 45, maybe 50. You know what I mean? And when they hit 50, they're only 50 for like a quarter of a mile. You know what I mean? So you really don't need that type of, you know, any aggressive speed. But I do want to take this bike off-road and hit some trails with it, which is why I love the KE100, because it's a great on-off-road bike, but it's underpowered. This is going to make it have that dirt bike feel to it. That dirt bike, you know, when you twist that throttle and it's going to rip you out of a hole. That's what I'm going for. I mean, obviously it's not a KX. It's not going to perform like a KX, but it's going to do the best it can for a KE, and by doing these modifications that I'm doing, it's going to make this bike feel like a performance dirt bike. And that's what I'm looking for out of a 100. So, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. So, the modifications are fun, and the bike build is coming along great. You know, we're going to get back on to that. You know, you guys saw where we left off on the KE102 mod. So we're going to be back on that. I want to get this bike back up and going so I can ride it as my daily driver like I did. We're going to put that modified exhaust on another KE100 I have, and use that bike as a mock-up. So kind of getting my bike back and being able to mock up another bike. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. 375 subscribers. Guys, thank you. Ladies, thank you. I appreciate that. Please share and like my page. And if you guys have any more questions, by all means, please send them to me, because I'm really happy to be able to answer your questions and do these videos for you. So we're going to be getting into. I still have to do the brake video and the tire video, which is coming up. I've been sick. I've been having a really bad stomach illness. But I'm feeling a lot better, and we're going to be getting back into that type of stuff. So we're going to be doing, we're going to be poking a couple of holes in this tank and brazing them shut. I'm going to show you how to clean out a tank, using the wash, the vinegar, and the mauric acid. So we got some stuff coming up, guys. We got a lot of stuff coming up. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. If there's anything I can do for you guys, by all means, please let me know. Thanks.